Terrible.
Moving on to NXT here, Puddy. Quite a few things are trending at NXT, but this one I think was pretty interesting. With Indi Hartwell and her finish in her match. Someone tweeted actually, Toxic Attraction, saying she won off a suplex? Question mark. So this sparked a lot of conversation amongst everyone. People will quote retweeting this. Sherilyn had a good one at Cheryl Delaware. That's a superplex. Ask the Dynamite Kid, Bob Orton, Barry Windham, and a ton of others about it. And a lot of people would say, superplex does hurt. And I think it was interesting that Indi Hartwell chose a non-finisher to finish the match with. And this has been a conversation amongst wrestlers at one point. And I want to see your opinion about this. Will matches ending with non-finishers be a thing of the future?
What's the future?
What's the future?
What's the future? Because we've seen many matches end up with a roll up of death, or they sneak behind them and it's like do a schoolboy roll up that ends the match.
Well, I'm not necessarily
talking about like a roll up or like a finisher, like the pedigree, and the match is over.
Well, I'm not necessarily talking so I'm not necessarily talking like a finisher like the pedigree. I'm talking about like
a move.
Like a move, like the superplex. Like that's not Indi Hartwell's finisher, no. But a superplex, it's a big time move. It's not.
The question is, what is her finisher? And why can it be that?
You know what? It very well could be. What's wrong with the superplex being a finisher?
One of my favorite interviews I've ever heard about or read about was Jake the Snake Roberts saying how his finisher DDT was revolutionary.
Yes.
When he hit that, match was over. Now all you have all of a sudden in the new age of wrestling, someone hits a DDT, that's just a fucking rest move.
Right.
I'm like, all right. So there's a lost art of moves being finishers. Super kick was a finishing move.
And now we get the super kick party.
Starts the match. So there is a lost art of finishers. Which again, I go back to, I think might have been before your time on the show where Baron Corbin would talk about the Undertaker, where we were saying the end of days was it. Nobody kicks out at the end of days, which we talked about WrestleMania because somebody did. Mm-hmm. There's a lost art form. When you hit the finisher, that should be it. But nowadays, everybody loves kicking out of finishers.
Right. I think ever since that Shawn Michaels Undertaker match WrestleMania 25, that's when he's just started.
I think it might have been before that, but that definitely started the snowball effect of it.
Yeah, I mean that match really sticks out in mind.
Finishers are just something we need to build up energy to on the 2K games.
Do you think it should be something more like that? That's like a feature type of thing. Like, we don't see it every so often that, maybe like a big pay-per-view or something. Like,
no, again, it should be every match. Like the super kick was. But once they get oversaturated, you lose the luster. Like, well, let me kick you with the super kick. We're done.
Kind of makes me think back to remember when Daniel Bryan faced John Cena at SummerSlam? When Daniel Bryan won the championship, he hit the running knee for the first time. It looked like it was just a regular move, right? At that point, it looked like the match finished on a running knee. That's weird. Not the label lock, not a rope, not anything like that. It's just like a running knee. That was it. And then that wound up becoming his finisher going forward. So going back to what we were saying with Indi Hartwell, like who say this is not her new finisher?
Exactly. Yeah, could be because nobody's finisher is superplex.
Right.
So why not make it her finisher? As long as nobody uses it in the middle of the match. When we did commentary for the now defunct promotion, they would say, all right, what's your finisher? So and so, all right. So nobody used that move during your match, which I love what he did.
It's a very big thing. Yeah, even the BCW, other promotions I've been at, like that would be a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. Great idea. So as long as they don't say all right, Indy's going to use the superplex as her finisher. So, Miz, Bobby Lashley don't use that during their match.
But how cool would it be though? Like it adds a whole other unpredictable factor. Like say who's say someone can't win off like a diving elbow or off a boot to the face or just like, just a rolling elbow, or whatever, arm bar. I it adds so much more intrigue. Like, we can predict right now, like, what's going to be, one, two, two,
Yeah, of
right?
course. Yeah.
But like, it's one, two, we're going two, it's three. Like, whoa, hold up, that wasn't a finisher. Like, she just she did a regular move. I think, I don't know, man, because any one of these moves that you hit in real life, game over.
Of course.
If someone body slams you on some man floor, game over in real
Yep.
life. I don't know, man. I think it'll be interesting to see going forward if they went about that. It also made me think
Again,
about,
but in NXT, so this might be like a tryout. Can we bring old school moves as finishers back to the main roster? So this is interesting tryout.
but then, like, if Indi Hartwell decides to use this as a finisher, she's really got to make it her finisher. She's got to, like, bring some flair to it, if you will.
I'm sure she will.
Make it believable as your finisher. Because, like,
Yeah, of course.
let's go say Paul Heyman talked about, like, the art of a finisher, right? And so it's very interesting. Like, it's up to the commentators too to put this over. If
yes, definitely.
he used the example of a headlock. If Mark Henry put you in a headlock, and that's believable. You see the size of his arms, right? And a headlock's a normal day move, but with Mark Henry, it's extraordinary headlock. And then the commentator's like, look, he can't breathe anymore. His arms, it's the size of his neck. He's fading. He's fading.
If you put me in a headlock, it would be like a non-issue. But if I put you in a headlock, lights out.
Right. It depends. You also have to sell it. As a wrestler, you have to make your own. As a wrestler taking it, you really have to sell. And then the commentary, it's all a cohesive unit. So I don't know. It's interesting to see. It was interesting to see that topic. And the original person I posted, it's a superplex, not a suplex. Let's get that straight.